some links set up so we can share the stream out, make sure everyone knows, and kind of waiting for things to start up on the Twitch side of things. So give me just a moment here. Head over to my Facebook page, 5012 Design, and create a quick little post. Let's see if I still have that obnoxious graphic I used last time. Oh great, I got a printer update going. That's wonderful right now. Let's see, get to the right drive location. Oh gosh. Okay only, it didn't give me an option to like cancel this thing. But not that you can see anything, I think it's all hidden from you. I set up a scene transition, which is kind of cool. So I didn't know how to do that. Now I know how to do that. And, oh, actually, I should be using this image. That would be much more twitchy. Okay, yeah, let me just grab the link here. Yep, we're doing Illustrator, going live. That's all good. Let me just get a share link. Facebook share. Nope, that's not what I want. Oh, can I not just copy that out here? Copy to clipboard. There we go. Oh, it just goes to my channel home. I thought I could link directly to the video, but I suppose that changes. Okay, and I'll just post that. And I'm going to share it over to my personal page real quick. Oops, I shared it to the wrong page. They kind of changed the default on that. That's annoying. Let me refresh here. Give people a chance to get in here anyway, so just do a little refresh. Come on now. Let's delete that one. Yep, that's a duplicate. And let's share this one. Not on a page. There we go. And I'm going to do a quick little experiment here while this is running. Let's see if I can change this background. Okay, I changed it. Super obnoxious. Sorry about that. That's the Twitch for you. Bright colors, you know. That purpley pink color, that's what everyone likes, I think. Okay, so we are set up. We're in the creative stream. We are properly titled. Okay, so what are we working on? We are working in Adobe Illustrator today. And let's just, oh, that is a button for that. Set a shortcut to switch scenes. Okay, well, that didn't work. I guess that shortcut's already in use by Adobe Illustrator, so that didn't work, but you got the little infinite thing. We'll get that figured out. I'll find a shortcut that works. Okay, so I'm in Adobe Illustrator. What are we working on today? Today's kind of a quick t-shirt project for one of my IDPA buddies here out at Front Range IDPA. So we've got a range officer that has sort of an iconic look and a really just wonderful guy. He's a lot of fun, but he's also very strict, and he runs everything exactly right, and everyone loves him. And we're going to create a little t-shirt graphic based on a sort of silhouette slash, it's going to be kind of halfway between a silhouette and a kind of a comic book style image that we're going to create from a photo of him out at the last IDPA shoot that I was at. So if you're following on YouTube, you can see me compete. You probably saw him following me around a few times. Let's see, we need to place. So I'm just going to place that image. Let me get in here. There he is. Now I have edited this image to try and bring out some of the details and simplify it down ahead of time in Photoshop. Just a couple of quick filters on it. I cut it out of the scene first, and then I put some filters on to kind of, one was the cutout filter and one was the print halftone filter, in order to get that kind of dotted look and just kind of bring out some extra detail from the cutout, but kind of simplify it down. So it actually looks sort of comic book-esque as it is right now. And then we'll just trace it out, and we'll probably break format from that a little bit. I'm going to do this one manually. Last time you saw me working with the gorillas and guns, and we were able to use the trace tool within the Adobe Illustrator to trace out that artwork. It was already in line art, and bring that into the into vectors, and then simplify it and edit it and tweak it to get it all correct, and saved a lot of work for sure. This one, the image is pretty low resolution, and there are some things that I want to do that aren't in the image that as line art we would want. Specifically, I'm going to need some separation here on the clipboard. I want that to sort of stand out a little bit more, stuff like that. So I think what we'll do to begin, actually what I'm going to do to begin, I'm going to just copy this, Control-C, Control-F to paste it on top of itself. And I am actually going to go ahead and use the image trace tool just to at least get a sort of block out started. Oh, I don't like how that turned out. Let's do black and white logo. What's that look? That kind of gets some of it, but let's not do it quite like that. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't bother here. I don't know. Yeah, let's not bother with that. I'm going to delete the extra. Okay, so we've got this one. First thing I want to do is bring my opacity way down. Let's see what 25% looks like. 25% looks pretty good to me. And then I'm going to lock it with Control 2. You can also do that from the Object menu. Command 2 for you guys on Mac. Command whenever I say Control. So we just kind of brought that opacity way down, and let's start sort of tracing him out here. And of course, the first thing we need is his iconic hat. So let's put this down. Like so. Next one around there. Let's come up. Okay. Close that off. Now, what we want to do is make some changes to this shape. For one, I don't want an outline. I never like to work with an outline. And for two, we need to establish a fill color so that we can see what it's doing. And you know how this would work much better. I'm actually just going to cut that with Control X or Command X. Let's go over to my layers here, create a new one, bring it underneath. So since this image is at 25% opacity, if I come underneath and paste that back in, we can see the image over top of the underlying shapes that we're creating. So this is a really great way to work on an image like this. Okay, so we're going to for the first couple times here, I'm going to try and use the menu so you can see what I'm switching to. Going from the pen tool to the anchor point tool. We used that before. That's going to allow us to create our smooth Bezier curves. I'm going to hit, actually I'm not going to hit it, I'm going to go select it, grab the minus tool, yank that one out. I think we can yank that one out as well. I'm going to come back, anchor point tool, Shift C, just give a little more curve there. I'm going to grab this one. I want to bring that up like so. Actually, you know what? We could get rid of that. I'm just going to click it off. So we just have the one handle there. We'll just put a very small amount of curves into this. Turn that one off. There are a couple places where it just seems like his hat kind of naturally has a sort of a point to it, so I'm trying to kind of honor that. Okay, I'm hitting minus to switch to that point removal tool, and then Shift C to come back to my handles. Just pull that out here to match. Very good. Bring that in a little bit. Take this curve way up here. Okay. Let's create that. Now this point seems pretty unnecessary, so I'm going to just remove it with minus. Shift C to get back to my Bezier. That point also seems kind of unnecessary. Probably remove it. Here we have such big sweeping curves. Okay, I'm going to hit A for the anchor tool, or the direct select tool. Just pull that down a little bit. I hit the down arrow to go by increments there. It seemed to work all right. Sometimes it goes way too far or not far enough, and you got to do it manually, but I like to use those whenever I can. Okay, so we've got that shape. Now I'm going to go back to my pen tool so that we were on the anchor point tool. That's what it looks like an arrow. We're switching it back to the pen. You can always see which one's active up there. And I'm going to bring in the sort of drape here that runs down the back of his hat. Back up there. Then Shift C to switch over again. And I just want to double check, make sure, yeah, everything's showing up okay. Okay. Now on this curve, I left a little bit of a gap because what I wanted to do was cut in basically just like that, just so you get that separation. Whoops. Separation of his hat. And I need to add a point in there, so I just hit plus to switch to the add anchor tool. It's part of that pen tool. And I'm not sure exactly on the positioning that I'm going to want with that. Shift C, go back to my anchor tool. So what I want to do here is try to create a sort of natural break that doesn't go all the way in. And mimics the line of his hat brim right there. And I think that's pretty good. I think that kind of does it. Whoops, didn't want to move that. To grab this tool, the anchor point tool. Okay, we got some kind of waves to his hat there. Let's move this one just a tad. Okay. Got alerts coming through I don't want to bother with right now. Okay, let's see, so the glass is here. I think what I'm going to do is come down. Let's actually just kind of shape out the face here. And this is going to look kind of awkward. He's got a little button tie at the bottom of his hat there that holds his hat on when it's windy. It gets so windy out here. And I'm not even sure what that is that he keeps in his pocket there, but okay, I think that's far enough for now. Also far enough for now. Okay, so kind of similar to what we were just doing. Bring out his glasses there, curve that just a tad. Let's get some curve to his nose. A little bit of curve on his chin there. Cut that in. Now this one we kind of want to pull in. It's a little too exaggerated. Okay, I've got some extra lines in here I don't really need. So again, every time you see that cursor change, I'm just using the shortcuts that I've already mentioned here. Shift-C to get that anchor tool out, and then minus or plus to remove the anchors. The arrows to move the actual anchor itself. Okay, I think I'm fairly happy with that. Now we need to go back to the pen tool, P for pen, and let's put in this tie that goes around his face here. Shift-C to curve it. Okay. And that's going to extend too far, and that's intentional because I'm actually going to cut this shape out. Of the other one. So let's do that. I'll show you kind of how that works again. So coming over to the Pathfinder tool, that new shape's on top of the old one, so I'm going to use the sort of cookie cutter minus front. Cut that right out. Since we're going for a silhouette look, we're going to be doing that quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and do his hat. Now his hat, I've already created that cutout by just not overlapping the shapes in that spot. So what I want to do is combine them. There you can see it cut out that line that was right there. And then I'm going to combine the whole thing here. I guess they call it the Unite tool. And now we're going to kind of cut into this again, where his glasses are here. I'm going to keep that pretty small. up everything, cut it out. So when we zoom out here, you can kind of see that, yeah, right about there, we're kind of seeing those details that we've created. I think this is going to be a screen print. I should have asked. I think this will be a screen print shirt. So because of a screen print, we want to basically keep that shape as simple as possible and do what we would call a one color print. So, oops. Oh, that's all right. A one color print. So that means that we have just a silhouette. We don't have any extra detail colors anywhere else. I guess technically we should say that's a two-color. It's a two-color print. To correct myself there from my printing experience. So two-color. What does two-color mean? It means one color. It's confusing. Most people who you talk to, especially if you're in the print business, they're not going to understand they need to subtract one color. Why do we subtract one color? Because the shirt or background is a color. If you're working with like a window decal, the tint of the window, the black background, that's color one, right? And then the second color is the artwork itself, because we have to differentiate that. So you have two colors. There's really just one ink and the color of the shirt. So you get the second color for free, but it's a two-color shirt. Super more confusing than it needs to be. I don't know if all print companies work that way, but the one I worked with for a while, that's kind of how they talked about it. Okay, this can be a really simple shape here. And let's just create both of these shapes right now. Now this shape, in actuality, is pretty straight the way it was hanging, but I'm going to add some curve to it, because as we translate into artwork, sometimes we need to exaggerate for it to look right. It just wouldn't look right to the eye. If we didn't exaggerate that curve a little bit. So here, let's have that handle in a little bit. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. So let's take both of these shapes and combine them. And then let's grab this shape, combine that. Everything's sort of welded up just right. That's wonderful. Okay. Now one thing I kind of need to figure out how I want to do it is his sleeve and his vest. That vest is very iconic to Don here, and all the range officers really at the IDPA events. So I think I'm going to do negative space for his sleeve and then positive space for the vest and just kind of see how that looks. So let's come back here. Let's grab our pen tool. I'm going to start right at that anchor. Whoops. I didn't want to remove that. Oh, because I selected this. Let's deselect that. I don't know how to deselect. I should learn that shortcut. Okay, so without that selected, I can click right on the anchor without removing it. Okay. And then in here, we're going to have to kind of just make up the way that that's sort of blowing in the wind. Let's come up here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and weld those together right now. And when you see me move the canvas like that, I'm holding the space. In case you were wondering how I'm doing that, space is your pan tool. Definitely a very handy tool to be using. Okay, probably shouldn't have just clicked on that. Just going to do that. Let's grab this. Oh, that's what's going on. I don't have a point there. Okay, there we go. Okay. For whatever reason, I always find it really difficult to sort of create a really even transitional line that mimics another one, because you need those points in slightly different spots, and it's just probably one of the harder parts of doing this manual trace. Oops, that's not what I want. Let's go back to this. Being able to grab the path itself with the anchor select tool or anchor point tool and drag that helps a lot. Okay, so we're just kind of smoothing this shape out a little bit. That one's really kind of unnecessary. Oops. Key. Okay, so this is another spot where we don't have anything in the artwork itself, but we're going to cut a line in there to differentiate those shapes between his vest and his pants there. Let's just fix that curve a tad bit. Let's pull that in just a little bit. Keep it looking natural. There we go. So I'm liking that. And then what we're going to want to do, let's come back with our pen tool. Let's sort of cut it there. Those, cut that out. So we want that sort of fold in the fabric to show up. Okay, we'll grab our pen tool again. And let's start working on bringing out his arm here. That one, let's go just a little higher. There we go. Okay, so I went ahead and tried to pre-build some of the cuts that I'm going to have there. And we'll cut that out. It's pretty blocky, but we can see, looks like we're accomplishing that shape pretty well. We've got an arm, got some folds in the fabric. Okay, let's start smoothing this out just a bit. So when you get into this part where you're sort of making up these lines, definitely feel like it kind of helps to have some background in line art. I mean, you are kind of just tracing, but you're also making some specific decisions about how the brain will perceive, how the eye will perceive certain cuts and shapes, and that makes a big difference. So we can really kind of create a lot more believability, I guess is kind of what I want to get at there, so that the mind looks at that and interprets those lines exactly how you intended. So if you're watching this wondering, why do I hire a designer if you're just tracing? That's why. If it looks easy, then I'm doing my job pretty well. Because those little details, they make a bigger impact than you might think. I hit the wrong button there. Okay, here we go. Now you might or might not notice each time I'm pulling one of these opposing points, I'm pulling them a different direction. And sometimes I twist it to the side, and that's because the direction of the Béziers and how it's affecting that curve is really dependent on which side of the line it is on according to the application. So in this instance, clicking on the one point, and you drag it one way, and it'll either drag through itself or, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. Hopefully you're kind of seeing how that's working. And then that changes. That changes based on the side of the line that it's on, which direction you're actually pulling it. Actually, don't want that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect these shapes. For simplicity's sake, well, no, I'll try and just cut it in. Okay, I'll weld those together. Grab my pen tool again. That line up into there. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of an experiment here. What I want to see is if I can sort of create the illusion of that hand being there in just the negative space. So, just pull out that clipboard. Those fingers look a little more natural here. Okay, and then Don is carrying a couple of pens with him, markers. Okay, so to kind of test that, I'm going to come back to my layers and turn off the under layer. And yeah, I think that works. You can kind of see his hand there in the negative space. We got enough surrounding objects to kind of play that out. I think that's going to work out well. Okay, so a couple things we're going to need to go back though and add is we need a fold in the fabric here. just going to leave it straight like that. I think that's fine. Well, his vest literally does go up pretty high there in the crease, so I'm going to bring it down just a tad more toward that shadow instead. Let's grab our pen tool. Let's cut in another crease there. And another one here. Okay, now what I just did there, I combined that shape, or cut that out. It moved the whole image above this shape, not that you can see it. So I hit Control Shift and right bracket to bring that object all the way to the front before I cut it out. So that's something you'll notice if you don't do that as you're going through this, which is bound to happen. You're going to end up with a the opposite of the image will cut out. So if I had just left it and done it as where it lay, then the let's bring that one up. That's too much. Let's enhance that crease just a tad. Then it would have deleted all of this rest of the shape and left only the little corner that was sticking out, which we don't want, obviously. So and here's a detail that's not really there, but we're going to kind of make it up just to kind of get that illusion of the vest having some folds and curves here. Change that necessary. Exaggerate these just a tad more. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Undo that. Am I not on? I am on that tool. Let's just miss the marker there. There we go. So again, to kind of just check our work, if we turn off that underlayer or overlayer, then I feel like that still translates. That shape still translates. We need to make a cut for his glasses. Let's do that. Separate the glasses from the hat here. So I'm going to try and pull that back pretty far. Okay, I'll just kind of match that curve there. I think we've got it. Let's go back to our tool there. Okay. Okay. Now one thing we could do is close the project kind of right here and not draw the rest of his legs. I mean, this shape and that clipboard kind of make a really good sort of a cutoff point. But I think I want to go ahead and include everything, because I might overlap the legs with some text. So let's turn that back on. Let's come down to this clipboard. And we've got to get our pen tool again. Okay, and I'm kind of faking some of this here. Kind of just making it up as I go, just because I really want it to translate properly. Visually. Actually, let's get rid of that one, this one, that one. Let's cut that out. Whoops. Okay, so I was combining shapes, and somehow I got that ahead of the other one. Nope. No. What's it doing there? Why is it cutting it that way? Did I not close that shape? Okay, let's delete that for the moment. Let's just build it the other direction. Yeah, something's going weird here. So this shape is on top. Just making sure. This shape is underneath. And, oh, because I added these in. Oh, I don't like how it does that. Okay. Having a floating piece of that shape really messes with some things. Okay, oh, let's Control-Shift-Right bracket to make sure that's on top. Now it cuts no problem. Okay, let's change the amount of curve on that to 0.005. Oh, nope, that was too much. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab these points, down a little bit. No, that didn't skew quite properly. if those points are really necessary, to be honest. Okay, let's just grab that, this, cut that out, grab our subtraction tool, give those points in the center. And if we remove the image, I think that still looks like a clipboard. Okay. So we'll come back and get those pens later. We do have a couple of grommets in his hat here. Let's add those in. So what you didn't see me do there is I copied with Control C and then Control F to create a duplicate. I've got them in both places. Okay, so I'm going to take the larger circle, the overall shape, and cut it out. Boom. I'm going to take the larger circle, bring it to front, grab the larger background shape, cut it out. I'm going to leave those separate because we don't want to have issues later like we were having with the pens. And let's come down here and get the rest of his pants. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just cut from there down here. Creating some folds in his pants there. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. And let's go in and detail out the shape of his shoes here. little bit of curve up front there, a little bit back here. Okay, let's get some in here. Okay, so what we have here is yet another sort of a line or detail that doesn't really occur in nature. This sort of cut here that's separating his two legs, but when we're working with artwork, we need to exaggerate things a little bit to get that correct appearance. And this is another one of those sort of difficult instances where you gotta try to match these curves to get it to look right. I think we got that pretty good. This line could be just a tad thicker. There we go. we go. I think we've just about got it here. That looks pretty good, I think. Just checking in real quick. Doesn't look like we've got any questions to answer. Just about finished here. So now what I want to do is just go in and add those pens. So they really help create that shape of his hand there. And also what I want to do, I think, is just create a small cutout of these fingers, just to detail that out a tad. Okay. And it might also help if I was to bring a small line up there. Right there. Okay, then I guess the question at this point is, do I try to add in the first knuckles here? I think I will. So as I was explaining before, pulling out those Beziers, when you pull one, you know the one opposite of it will pull the opposite direction. So that's kind of handy to know so that you can speed things up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now we're going to start working without the background image. This is not working for me. This line is too much. What I mean by that is it's too thin. Compared to the rest of the detail level in the artwork. It didn't seem to fit. So just pull that out a little bit. I don't like how this turned out here at his other ankle. So at this point we're just going to basically start drawing things how we want them. Let's just bring that in a lot. The whole thing. Now I'm starting to wonder if I feel like having that leg in the background is even helpful to the image. Okay, I'm going to unlock that. I'm going to grab everything. Just with this tool. I want to adjust the balance here. Oh, it didn't drag them both together. Well, I don't need them both together anymore. Let's just lock that down. I think actually I had, well, we won't delete it, but lock it down and close that. And I want to get his centerline balance lined up. The original photo was kind of a little bit off. Go. I'm going to hit Control G to group everything into one sort of shape group. And let me just double check the wording that we wanted here. Not the RO we deserve, but the RO we need. Let's take both of those, stick them together. And let's pick a cool font for them. I really like that font, but I don't think that the O's really fit. Harvester's not bad. Let's take this and change that color to black. There we go. Let's look at some others. Industry stencil. I feel like stencil's kind of overplayed, but we use stencils a lot when setting up IDPA matches, so kind of seems fitting. Okay, let's create outlines. Create outlines. And whoops. Come on. This blocked up. To exactly fit. Let's get it a little closer so we can be a little more specific. There we go. Make that kind of a perfect block there. Not the RO we deserve, but the RO we need. Okay, and then as far as sizing goes, this is a 10 by 10 10 by 10 canvas, so for a t-shirt I think that's going to fit fairly well. Let's pull him down just a tad closer to the letters. Okay. You know, maybe what we could do is tilt that over his feet here. Let's put a white stroke on it. Yeah, I kind of like that with the stroke. Yes, yeah, uniform. I made that kind of grungy. No, I don't like that. Grungy. Edgy look. Basic. Let's see, stroke controls. Outside the lines. Inside the lines. What looks better? I think inside looks a little bit better. Let's grow it up a little bit larger. And the stroke size. That's not good. Just gonna have them selected. Go to half. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think that's good. Okay, so we've pretty much got things cracked out here. Just center that in the canvas a little bit better. And go ahead and save it. Also going to save it as a JPEG. Okay, so I think I'm done for now. I'm going to check with the guy that sort of commissioned me to do this here and see how he feels about it. And if he's good to go, we're good to go. So I hope that was insightful for some of you that are maybe a little newer to Illustrator, to kind of how things work, how we create vector artwork, sort of old school manually using the pen tool. And yeah, I think that covers it. So let's see if I can switch. Now, what is that trying to do? Locate files and scripts. Oh, did it work? It did work. Hey, look at that. I got our splash screen back up again. So thanks for watching. I don't think we caught anybody on Twitch here. Doesn't look like we had anyone joining in. I don't have a lot of subscribers on Twitch, so not a lot of people are going to see what's going on there. But we will be posting this to YouTube, so you can check it out there. And I think that pretty well covers today. So I hope you're having a great day. Definitely go follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/UncleMike5012, just like you see it spelled there, or at facebook.com/5012design. That's a great way to keep up with what I'm doing in both platforms. And on YouTube, I don't have a short URL just yet. I'm still trying to build subscribers, so if you are watching this here or there or anywhere, definitely helps me out if you go to the YouTube link from my Facebook page and then click subscribe. Once I get up to 100 subscribers, we've actually got a little giveaway going with my pal Gorillas and Guns, Silverback at Gorillas and Guns YouTube channel. And if you're into firearms at all, then there's some a cool little optic that you can win there from me and through him. So once we get up to 100 subscribers on my channel, he's going to give that away. And definitely just go ahead and hit subscribe and comment on any of my videos that Silverback sent you. There's a video about the giveaway itself if you want to see that posted on my Facebook page, so you can check that out. And something about a mail call. The title was a mail call and a giveaway or something like that. Yeah, so I think that covers things pretty well. Thanks for hanging out with me. I got to get up and move around. I still need to make myself some lunch here today. And just kind of get about about my day. So I've got family in town staying with us, and they're out right now getting new phones. They're coming in from Germany. So my brother-in-law was stationed in Germany for a while and uh, coming back stateside now. So we're excited to be able to hang out with them and have them around, but that definitely kind of cuts down on my time and availability to do these videos. But while they're out of the house and no toddlers running around making noise, I was able to get out a little video. Really glad we were able to make that happen. And the storms have kind of let up, so my hands are working much better. Um, Something about that barometric pressure change uh, when that low front comes in or whatever it is, it really fatigues me and makes my fingers much more stiff and painful and hard to do anything. So really thankful to have some time here where the weather's been nice yesterday, today, um, kind of recuperate a little bit, enjoy some family time, and getting some things done. So glad I was able to get a little video out for you all. And if you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment on that YouTube video or leave me a comment on the Facebook post, either one. I'll share it there as well, so you can get to me either way. But definitely the YouTube channel is what I really need to grow right now so I can get that custom URL for YouTube. So again, really, really helps me out. If you're seeing this, go subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know where you found me. That'd be great. If you find me on Twitch, let me know you found me on Twitch. Kind of starting to wonder if I'm wasting my time doing the Twitch live stream because I just don't get anyone that comes in and watches. I don't do them on a regular schedule. That's a difficulty for me, so that might be part of the trouble. But if nobody's watching these things live, then it might be a lot better content-wise to just record them and edit them down and then post that up on YouTube and stop using Twitch for recording and live streaming. So I'd really appreciate your feedback on that. Let me know if you think the live stream's great, if you're enjoying it. Definitely let me know. When you're in the live stream, if you leave me a comment or something, just so I know you're there and watching, that's a huge, huge bonus for me. And if you're finding me through Twitch, definitely let me know, because I'm kind of starting to wonder if it makes sense to be on Twitch right now, or if I need to grow my YouTube only for a little while. So that's it. Again, facebook.com/5012design, and follow me there. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch. I'm also on Instagram if you want to see more stuff about barbecuing and dogs, as well as firearms related content. Then you're welcome to follow me on Instagram, Uncle Mike 5012, as well. So I think that covers it, and I'm going to take off. You have a great day.